The oracles of real estate and law. The grand poobahs of Metro Detroit are here to help you with your questions on short sales and bankruptcies, from A to Z and from Lake St. Clair to Lansing, leaving no stone unturned to help you find your way through the dark and into the light. Live on the radio now, Jimmy Moss and Paul Gigliotti.
Hey, welcome, folks, to the Oracles of Radio on this beautiful Memorial Day, and where we celebrate our freedom and the troops that have helped provide that. And I can't give enough thanks to the men and women out there that are giving it their all to keep this country free. So everybody that's celebrating this, instead of looking for a sale on a mattress or something like that, take a moment to think, of all the sacrifices that brought us this beautiful nation that we have here. And once again, segueing into my co-host over here, Paul Gigliotti. What's your take on today, buddy?
Thanks, Jimmy. My family and I were talking this morning, and we were talking back to the Great Blackout of 2003. And, our kids were younger then, and they remember when it was going on, but they really don't remember the feeling that everybody had. People didn't know what was going on. We didn't know if it was a terrorist attack. We didn't know if something was coming next. And, we really got to give our hats off to the men and women who represent our country, and to give us that peace of mind that we feel all the time, and the things we take for granted and enjoy. And, you see on the news the sacrifices they make, and the story about the girl who threw the pitch out at the baseball game and didn't know her father was the catcher catching the ball. He had the catcher's mask on, then he took it off. She kind of freaked out. Those are great, and we really got to have our hats off to those people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm a big fan of the military. And with that said, folks, a little bit about our show and what we do. Jimmy Moss, I am a real estate agent here, and versed in real estate thoroughly, and I've also been a loan broker, which is a QE, a branch manager, for many of years, and still do loans in Las Vegas, Nevada. So when I'm selling real estate, I have a great loan background, so I will be able to guide you through that process to make sure your lender is is up to speed, and all your T's and I's are crossed and dotted. And as far as reading, things that go along with title, you have the prelim and all the fees, fines that are out there. I'll be able to walk you through those details. And so when it comes to real estate, there's not too many things that I've seen that rattle me. And so I've been in the business long enough to know my onions. But nevertheless, Paul, you have a stellar resume too, and just tell the good folks out there a little bit about you and the law that you practice.
Thank you. I've been practicing for over 20 years, and, like I've said on the show before, in our office, our philosophy is the customer's always right, and even though that's kind of difficult to do in law sometimes, we strive to do that. And I tell all our staff, hey, we will answer people's questions, and when people hang up the phone with you, they better feel better than they did before they called us, And that being said, for both of us, the listeners out there, give us a call and run some things by us. The number here to reach us is 800-923-9385. Again, that's 800-923-9385. And if you have any question, I know from talking to people, there's always little questions that you have. Now's a great time to call, to get us on the phone. I know we're busy with our work, and I know for me personally, I'm
grilling, man. We're grilling right now.
Yeah,
I can smell the steaks from here.
No, it's okay as long as I'm helping people. That's what I do.
Yeah, I know. You always have your best foot forward and everything. That's why I work with you. That's why we do the show together here, and. There's a certain camaraderie that we have, and a respect for for each other, and also for the community out there. So every time I take on a listing and or represent a buyer, I put my best foot forward, and if there's something that I'm not sure of on a legal question, which they do come up on short sales and in contracts, and I'll give Paul a call. So, as a real estate agent, it's nice to have him there to pick up the phone and answer those questions. And it sometimes makes my I think the buyers and sellers that I work with feel a little bit more at ease. And, with you, Paul, I know you specialize in bankruptcies, doing a lot of Chapter 7s and Chapter 13s and that kind of stuff. But, there's a lot of other things you do. And we were kind of talking about, the different types of laws out there. And one of the things are, when people are renting a property, or should I say, the differences between buying a property right now or renting a property, what's the good, bad, and indifference with that? Or if you have, adding more to the conversation, if you have a house and you're looking to buy another house, renting that house out because it might be upside down, so you can't sell it. It's a good alternative at this time if you can afford it in your debt-to-income ratio to rent that house out to buy another house because of the way the market is and the interest rate's so low. So on the legal side of that, obviously, the real estate side, I can handle that for any of the listeners out there. That's what I do. But on the legal side of it, how do you govern yourself accordingly when you're looking at, let's say, you're going to rent your house out, so you don't want to get, sued, or, what would you do to tell somebody to kind of protect themselves on the legal side?
Usually when people call, we always lay out all their options, and you're right, renting the house is one option. Another option is short selling, as you mentioned. Another option is possibly doing a bankruptcy. But as far as people who are deciding to rent their house, like Jimmy said, he could cover the real estate part, but now's the time to get that great deal to buy the house you want to move into, but maybe you can't sell that upside down one, and that's where renting is the possibility, and it comes into play. You have to be really careful with renting since it is a liability. You're going to have somebody else in your house. They're probably not the same kind of person that you are, so you need to look at things as far as making sure that it's insured properly in case something happens. And, when you have that conversation with your insurance person, a lot of times you might get rushed through and they might say, okay, here's the typical policy that you want to have, but you want to make sure that there's enough coverage. Because
you can help with the LLC and stuff like that.
Yep.
So, it's kind of advantageous if you have rental properties, to put them in an LLC. And when you do that, let's say, for instance, you have 5 rental properties. Do you suggest to put all 5 of them in the same LLC or in individual LLCs, and then incorporate that with an S corp or a C corp, whatever it might be? Tax shelter, I guess you should say. Go ahead.
There's different ways to set it up, and there's rules about setting it up. But anytime you can have separate LLCs, that's the better way to go, because if you have one of your properties that's a stellar property and you're making a lot of money month to month on the amount of rent that you're getting compared to what you're paying out in expenses, but on the other hand, you've got a real terrible property, you don't want that terrible property, if it's in one LLC, to drag down your good property. So if you can set them all up in separate ones, that's the better way to do it. So that bad property, if if there's a problem with that one, it's not going to take down your other properties.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I know the answer from hanging out with you, but everybody out there listening, some of the things you want to do, once again, to govern yourself accordingly when it comes to owning multiple properties, and then becoming an investor. I know we got a call coming up here in a minute. I'm going to get to you, Elliot, so hang on the line, buddy. But when you're buying properties and you're looking to become a property manager, in the sense, it's a business. And after a period of time, 2 years of owning properties, you can then in turn use that as income in your debt-to-income ratio to help you buy more properties. So you need a timeline, obviously, for the lenders out there to consider that, income. And usually the benchmark on that is going to be 2 years, because that's considered self-employed income. So with that said, that's going to help you in buying in the future, so you have more buying power. So building a portfolio right now, I don't know if anybody understands, if you don't listen to the news and you're living in a cave, that the economy is a little tough. And with that said, you have you might not have the retirement that you're looking for. Hey, I'm going to retire from GM. It's been pretty chopped up, and some of the other companies out there. I just don't have faith in that. So building your own portfolio in real estate is not a bad idea. That's residual income, folks, and that means that when you get ready to retire, you're sitting on the couch and you're not out saying welcome to Walmart. It's not to say that that's bad, but I'm sure you'd rather be out fishing than doing that. But talking about the economy, let's bring on our one of our favorite guests here, Elliot Eisenberg. Hey, buddy, are you there? Elliot, hello.
Jimmy, you there?
Oh, yeah, there you are, buddy. Sorry about that. Just clicked you on the wrong side. Hey, how you doing, Elliot? What's going on, buddy?
Hey, doing pretty good. It was a pretty good week with the data,
Yeah, better than last week, man. I mean, the sun does shine.
The sun does shine. Indeed, it does. Housing data was pretty good.
Sure.
Consumer sentiment's pretty good. As bad as I felt last week, I'm feeling happy this week. That's why you got to always take data with a grain of salt, and you got to look at long-term trends. Don't look at one-day averages because you might just slash your wrists if things look bad.
Yeah, I do feel that. You got to look at the overall big picture. Even when you buy a house, people say in and out and in flipping. Those are great when those moments happen within the market, and they do happen. And obviously, we're kind of in that timeline right now where someone could buy a house or they bought it 6 months ago and they can turn around and make a profit on it. But that's not the norm. A lot of times people have to buy those, hang on to them for the long term, look at the monthly income, and if the gain happens in the in the long run, then the house goes up $60,000, $80,000, $100,000. That's an extra bonus. But so once again, it trends back to your saying, it's going to change, and you got to hang in there for the long haul. And here we have a better week. I mean, just some of the information on Bloomberg this week was nice. I mean, I was kind of happy.
Yeah, they put out something called the Consumer Comfort Index. It looks at three different things. It asks a bunch of households, how they feel about the national economy, how they feel about their personal finances, and how they feel about buying things. And they add them all up and divide by 3, and you get the overall score. And it's been generally trending up. The worst of the 3 is the national economy. People are still not feeling great about the national economy. Things aren't great. There's no question about it. But on personal finances, they're very happy. I mean, they're almost as happy as they were back, interestingly enough, back in 05, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, the roaring days, right?
Yeah.
We're almost back to where we were because house prices are recovering. The stock market's hitting new highs. People feel confident in their jobs. Similarly, on the buying climate, we're also almost back to where we were back in the roaring 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 time period.
Yeah.
So now the national economy is way much worse, obviously, because unemployment's still bad and so on. But hey, you see people feeling confident that they're not going to lose their job. Their company's making decent profits. Mm-hmm. It's a decent time to go out and buy, go out and buy a vacation, buy a VCR, buy a TV set, buy a house, whatever it is.
Yeah. I mean, the folks out there listening, Elliot Eisenberg, I mean, I didn't introduce you in the way that I normally do. I mean, Elliot isn't my next door neighbor peering over the fence that we talk about economics and finances. You bring a little bit more to the table than that. So why don't you give the folks a little overview of who you are and and how you started to crawl and then walk and then run.
All right, so I got a PhD, and I've been working in the world of housing and economics for about 15 years. I was a senior economist for the National Association of Home Builders for many, many years, and about a year ago I went off working on my own. So now I can say whatever I want, and I'm not leashed by an employer, so I think my views are even more objective and more interesting as a result.
Yeah.
And if you want to get my daily blog every day, you get 70 words on the economy, you can sign up at www.econ70.com.
Yeah, Elliot, obviously we love having you on the show and, going over some of the stuff, there's been fewer job claims for job losses, which has been great. I think that it's been a decrease of about 23% here. And, recently here in the month of May. And within regards to that, I see the economy and some of the other, in the Chinese, manufacturing is kind of slipping. I see, the shrink.
Slipping.
Which is, I mean, for us, we're still the largest economy in the world. But sometimes you look around and you think, hey, people get off the couch and work on something, create a business, get out there and become an entrepreneur, do what you need to do that, set America apart from all the other countries. And, at this point in time, people may be, they might be coming out of the dark and into the light. I mean, you just turn the switch. I guess that's it, Elliot.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no question. People look at the U.S. as right now the healthiest economy out there. China is slowing down, and they will continue to slow down over the next 10, 12 years. Their growth rates have fallen from double digits to high single digits. Now they're in the middle upper digits at 7.5. They're not going to get much higher than that. Their economy's too large. They're about half as big as we are.
Yeah.
60%. There's no way an economy that large can grow at 8% a year. It just doesn't happen. I mean, you know, if you're a car dealer, think about it. You sell 10 cars one year, you sell 20 next year. It's 100% improvement.
Yeah. Hey, Elliot, we're coming up.
100% again. You got to sell twice as much.
Hey, buddy, hold that thought. And I just got one more question when we come back for the break. You guys listening, hold on for Elliot. I'm going to ask him about the national debt. So we're going to take a break, Elliot. Hang on for that question, and I want to hear your opinion and your thoughts on that, buddy.
You got it.
Chairman Ben Bernanke is keeping interest rates low for now, so it's time you take advantage of this opportunity and look into refinancing your current home or purchasing a new one. Parks Title wants to remind you to exercise your right to choose your own title company when refinancing or purchasing your home. Whether you are selling, buying, or refinancing, remember Parks Title is independently owned with offices across Michigan to serve you. Visit parkstitle.com or like us on Facebook to learn more about how Parks Title can serve you.
Half Price Heroes, here's the update. It's summer, and that means family fun. So start with African Safari Wildlife Park in Port Clinton, Ohio. The kids get up close to camels, giraffes, white alligators, zebra, and much more. It's great family fun, usually about $131, now just under $66 for your whole family. That's right, the whole gang up to 6 people, all for $66, and that's half price, of course. If you're looking for professional help for your youngster struggling with math, look no further than the recognized leaders in math help, Mathnasium. Usually $450 or so, now just $99 for 8 tutoring sessions from the leaders, Mathnasium. And yes, that's more than half off, but just one remaining. So hurry, be a hero for your family and a half-price hero for yourself. As usual, important restrictions apply, so carefully review each offer. But hurry, these great values will go fast at theidealdepot.com. That's theidealdepot.com.
Public notice. Own a beautifully wooded home site near Maryland's Deep Creek Lake for well below market value during the bankruptcy sale. The abutting lot sold for nearly $240,000, but you can make the bank's loss your gain and own it for only $79,900. That's a savings of up to 70%. These gorgeous, nicely wooded home sites are adjacent to popular Deep Creek Lake, Lodestone Golf Course, and the biggest ski resort in the area. There's an abundance of recreational activities to enjoy year-round, including whitewater rafting, golfing, ice skating, ziplining, skiing, fishing, and so much more. There has never been a better time or opportunity to own prime mountain property next to Deep Creek Lake for such a bargain price. Just $79,900. Plus, take advantage of some of the lowest interest rates in history. Don't delay. All properties will be sold at savings of up to 70% during this once-in-a-lifetime bankruptcy sale. Call now, 877-888-7581. 877-888-7581. GLS Realty, LLC.
Hey, folks, welcome back to the Oracles of Radio with attorney Paul Gigliotti and myself, Jimmy Moss, with Red Carpet Platinum. I'm a local real estate agent here in the Tri-County area, and Paul is obviously a local guy here for law in the Tri-County area. And with that, I wanted to jump back into Elliot. I know you're there. Can you hear me, Elliot?
I am indeed.
Hey.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, so, folks, if you're listening earlier and after the break here, I wanted to talk to Elliot about the bingo button, the big question. We have, obviously the national debt. People talk about it all the time, but I just want to see it in your eyes as far as how it's going to affect the housing market in the long haul, and some of the other, maybe something else that I'm not familiar with that you would think that would be a concern of the average Americans out there that are listening.
The debt is a problem, but it's not. If we're on the verge of getting it under control. During 2009, the deficits, the
Mm-hmm.
1-year addition to the debt, was 10% of GDP. That's a terribly high number. Of course, the economy was in terrible shape. But right now, 2013, it's projected to fall to 4%, and by next year, 2%, which is a sustainable level.
Yeah.
So we've made dramatic improvement from -10 to -2 in 4 or 5 years. If we can keep it at the -2 level, which I don't think we can, it'll slowly get worse because of Medicare and Medicaid spending, we'll be okay. So I think we've given ourselves some breathing room. The problem we face now is that if interest rates start to go up too high, really quickly, the amount of debt service, interest cost on the debt we have will get big, and it can easily double from about $300 billion to $600 billion. That will be a problem. So
yeah.
we need to cut it down, which we're doing, and we're okay on that. Even though Congress is dysfunctional, it's not bad. And we need the GDP to grow faster from the 2.5, have it grow at, say, 3 or 3.25 or 3.5. That extra money will easily allow us to pay the extra interest with the higher rates, and we'll be okay. So we're not out of the woods, but we certainly see a very clear light at the end of the tunnel that's pretty bright.
Yeah, I know that that end of the tunnel thing, and I look at it. Here we have, you put $20 in the bank, and you have 20 gold coins in the bank, and then you take and you make a copy of those gold coins, and now you're technically saying you have 40 gold coins in the bank when you really only have 20. So when you go out to buy those, whatever you want to buy, if you want to buy widgets, it doesn't matter, and obviously the person that's selling the widgets are going, hey, well, you got 20 gold coins in the bank, and now you're showing me that you got 40, but technically you really only have 20. So then they raise the price of stuff. So then you have inflation. I mean, that's a generic way of explaining it, but at the same time, that's inflation. And so I'm not seeing that in all aspects of it. Obviously there's other areas that we can see that in gas prices are still pretty high, and some of the food costs have crept up, but I'm not seeing that across the board in all markets, but I am seeing it in some. So hopefully that will also stay low and not become a problem.
Inflation is not a real problem. It's not a problem because wages aren't really going up very much. And there are isolated areas where there's bad inflation, gypsum prices or sheetrock or lumber prices or so on.
Yeah.
But wages are a huge chunk of anything you buy is wages. And gasoline prices, while high, haven't been going skyrocketing up. They're high, but not going up, which means there's no inflation on them. So because input prices on inflation on transportation, energy prices aren't up, and wage prices demands aren't high because unemployment's still high, and banks aren't lending much, you don't get the inflation you would normally expect to see given the massive increases in liquidity that the Fed is pushing because of quantitative easing 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
It isn't there.
Well, you know what, Elliot, we always appreciate your insight and your personality and hey, guys, folks listening, just go his website. What is it? It's Grass and Laughs, am I right?
You can go there too, either grassandlaughs.net or www.econ70.com. Brings you to the same place.
Got it, buddy. Hey, appreciate it. We'll do it again next week. Thanks so much for your time and attention. We really do appreciate it, buddy.
My pleasure, Jimmy.
Thank
you.
Bye, Elliot.
Bye.
We have a section in the show that we're just trying to get off the ground right here, and it's new, and it's called a local business bump. And with that said, the local business bump works like this. You give us a call, or you can email us. You can go to our website, one of the three. So our number to our office, or should I say our directory, is going to be 855-USA-1976. That's 855-USA 1976. And if you call that number, or if you go to the Oracles of Radio, you can then in turn get our information. And as a local business, if out there, from a hair cutting place to an ice cream place to a mechanic's place to whatever it is, a furniture store, a thrift store, you just give us a call, and we do a small recording of what you wanted to offer this week on our show, and we basically play it. So, for instance, if you have an ice cream shop and you're doing buy one get one free ice creams, we'll record that. We'll play it on the air here. You get 30 seconds for free to give a little overview on the local business bump and of what you want to offer. And we just kind of try to segue a bunch of those, put a bunch of those businesses together. So at the end of the show, we do a little 5-10 minute run on businesses and what they're offering. And what does it do for us? It just drives more people to listen to our show, and at the same time helps out the local economy and the local businesses. So we got a caller right here that is calling from Advanced Performance. So let's see what we got here. Sean, are you there?
Jimmy, I'm here.
Yeah, all right. I got you. I lost you for a second. Are you there, buddy?
Yes, I'm here. How are you, Jimmy?
Hey, I'm good.
How are you today?
Good, thanks.
Hey, Sean. I know you're calling in, and I know you're a local cat that you have a auto repair company or something of that nature. We've known you for quite some time, and I know that you do a stellar job, and I trust you with my dog. So what say you, buddy? What's going on?
Oh, there's not a lot going on. And I don't know. First off, I want to thank all the vets, both servicemen and women, and survivors of the fallen heroes. to allow us to have this great country and all our freedom in this country.
Well said.
We wouldn't be able to do it without them, man.
Yeah.
So with that being said, thank you to all of you.
Yeah. I agree with you, man. I mean, you said it well. I mean, it's just what a great day, and to celebrate. And I know you yourself, being a small business owner. We talked about this little segment that we're having on the show, and we're trying to build this up. We offer, or I should say, you offer something that's indigenous to you, your company, for the week, and it's kind of like Groupon on the radio in a sense. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. It's like Groupon. So you're basically offering something to the people, and give me an overview, Sean, of your name of your company, where you're located at, how to get a hold of you, and what you're going to offer for the week.
Well, this week, what I want to do is a full-service oil change. It includes getting the car in, get it in the air, rotate the tires, check the brakes, any major fluid leaks, or mostly, and most of all, any safety-related items with the vehicle. So we know that our kids are safe going down the road. And
tire rotation too, huh?
Yeah, we're going to offer a tire rotation, put the best to the front so, we can steer safely. As the economy is, as we all know, it's pretty brutal out here. So what I want to do is offer this for a $25, tax included. So it'll be $25 out the door for the full-service oil change. It will be whatever your vehicle takes in oil consumption and a filter. And we'll check everything out from bumper to bumper, lights, battery, wipers, just about anything that moves.
Well, that sounds that's excellent. Yeah, that's excellent, buddy. That really is. What's the password that they have to use for the week? Folks, we have a password out there. Every company has an indigenous password. So what do they need to say in order to get this type of deal for the week?
Well, yeah, to get the $25 full-service oil change, first off, you need to call for an appointment. Mm-hmm. We are a small business in Clinton Township, Advanced Performance, Clinton Township. You can find that on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Or just give us a call at 586-790-9933. First off, you mentioned the Oracles of Radio, either Jimmy or Paul. And the password is going to be I Love America to celebrate this week for our fallen heroes and service people. So our password is going to be I Love America, and you have to mention the Oracles of Radio, either Jimmy or Paul. And we can get started on it right away. Just call for the appointment. We'll have it in stock with your filter and the oil for your vehicle when you come in. All
right, buddy. One more time. What's the phone number to your company? And that sounds like a great deal, buddy.
Yeah, the phone number is 586-790-9933. 586-790-9933. Give us a call. Set the appointment up. Mention Oracles of Radio, and the password is I Love America.
You got it, man. Well said, Sean. I appreciate your time and attention. I'm sorry. Were you going to say something else? Let's go ahead.
No, that's it. We're all good.
All right, sounds good. Listen, front seat in heaven for you. We'll talk to you soon, and we're going to head out to a break here. And thank you so much, buddy.
All right, thank you, Jimmy. Paul, you guys have a great Memorial weekend.
All right,
thank you too.
Thinking of downsizing? It's a seller's market, and sold signs are popping up all over town. Parks Title wants to remind you, you have a right to choose your own title company if you are selling, buying, or refinancing your home. Parks Title is independently owned with offices across Michigan to serve you. We have more than 25 years experience in clearing title and bringing deals to the closing table quickly and accurately. Talk to your real estate agent today. Visit parkstitle.com or like us on Facebook to learn more about how Parks Title can serve you.
This is Pastor John Gunn from the Power Company Kids Club in Pontiac, Michigan. In 2012, 10 Pontiac teens were charged with murder. For 20 years now, the Power Company Kids Club has been rescuing kids from that future, building their social, spiritual, and physical well-being through the saving power of the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm inviting you to attend the 20th anniversary gala and auction at the Royal Park Hotel on Friday, June 7th. Go to PowerCompanyKidsClub.org for all the details. It's a great night of fun and entertainment, but more important, you can make a kingdom difference for youth and teens right here in Pontiac, Michigan. Please join us at the Royal Park Hotel for our 20th anniversary gala and auction, and consider a financial gift too. Go to PowerCompanyKidsClub.org right now. That's PowerCompanyKidsClub.org. And thank you.
This is an important message for all hardworking Americans. Not long ago, Michael Parnas was living on a park bench in New York City. Fast forward to 2008, he took a few $1,000s, and in less than 8 months, 8 of the worst trading months in stock market history, Michael made close to $4 million. He cracked the stock market's code and discovered the insider trends that your broker doesn't want you to know. So he is giving you his Power Trading, Power Living book and DVD to help take the mystery out of the market, break down the trades and trends you need to know, and show you how he went from a park bench to Park Avenue for free. Just pay shipping. Michael has never stopped believing that regular hardworking people can make money in the stock market. A lot of money. In fact, Michael is convinced power trading can work for you too. That's why he's giving you his book and DVD for free. Call Michael now at 800-878-1634 and claim your free copy. Call 1-800-878-1634. That's 1-800-878-1634. Trading carries a high level of risk and may not be suitable for everyone.
Hey folks, welcome back to the Oracles of Radio with real estate agent Jimmy Moss, that's myself here, with Red Carpet Platinum, and attorney Paul Gigliotti. We're local fellows here, and we put together this show here every Sunday from 2 to 3 for our listeners out there that are looking for a good real estate agent and a good attorney. And, you know, that's what we strive to do. Obviously, doing the show, we're trying to put our best foot forward in all aspects. And with that said, I wanted to also mention we had a caller when Sean was on earlier for our local business bump, which is a great way for local businesses to kind of get their information out there for free. One of our sponsors that we work with already here is Parks Title, and you know, we want to mention Parks Title. They're a great title company. So if you need any title questions answered, you know, give them a call. They're in Royal Oak. Their number is 248-543-3990. And with that said, they'll help you out with all those details. So if you're going to list your house and need a title company, give Parks Title a call. But hey, you know, talking about what we just had on there, Paul, with the local business bump that we do, I know there's a couple other things you wanted to kind of talk about with that.
Yeah, you know, I really like the way that Sean put things, because when you described the local business bump, you said it kind of a technical way, but really what it comes down to is, you know, we're in this thing together, and, you know, we're local guys. If we were big, money-hungry business guys, we'd have an ad on the TV or something just trying to drive people to our businesses. But, you know, we choose to do the radio show so we can, we could answer questions of people on the air and help them out, and kind of hopefully they're comfortable doing that, as opposed to, you know, making an appointment, going to somebody's office and having that anxiety of the unknown. And I like the way Sean put it, that, you know, they're a local company. We got to hear him talk. He sounds like a guy you could trust, sounds like a real good guy, you know. And, you know, last week on the show I talked about the one car repair place with the coupon, $59 brakes out the door.
And $400 later, you're lighting the pockets.
Yeah. The irony was, as I said, it's going to end up being $400 more than that.
It was a joke.
Yeah, it was $460. Yeah.
I go, what did it run you, $400? You're like, nah, $460. I'm like, oh.
The estimate was $460, and the person at that place said, you know, I wouldn't drive that car. It's not safe to even drive it off the lot. You know.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I feel that. And, you know, when I run my business, I always try and put myself in the customer's shoes. You know?
And you do a great job doing law. I mean, your bankruptcies are stellar in that. I mean, you've been doing it a long time. You know what's going on in Chapter 7s and 13s. So, folks, if you're looking for a good attorney, you know, Paul knows what he's doing. And he knows a lot more than about just bankruptcies, that's for sure. I mean, some of the things we were talking about, I mean, just on the in the newspaper, they were talking about in the real estate side of it, shortening the redemption period from 6 months if somebody's losing their house to 90 days. And, you know, that pretty much kills the short sale. You try to short sell a house and you don't have a redemption period. You know, that's a big push for the banks out there to, hey, I can get my hands on this house a lot faster and get it turned over. And there's a lot of other factors in there that obviously benefit, you know, the banks. And I don't think they benefit at all. The the individual that's trying to sell a house. I mean, I would rather have someone short sale a property, then they can buy again in a shorter period of time than they can with the foreclosure. I mean, it's just that simple. But I mean, what's your take, buddy?
Well, anytime there's a change in the law like that,
they're trying to change it.
Yeah. Let's make that clear.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Anytime they propose something like that, there's a couple things I do. The first thing I do is I look to see who the senator or the representative is who's putting forward the proposed change in the law.
Yeah.
I look at which party they're from, Democrat or Republican, and then I usually say to myself, aha, to boil it down in simpler terms, I always say follow the money. Okay,
yeah. Who's getting paid on this one?
It's one of the Republicans bringing it forward, and if you follow the money, I'll bet that the mortgage companies are somehow backing this lawmaker and trying to shorten the redemption period. And it's funny because he's trying to say that it's going to help the banks, this and that, and houses stay vacant and houses get destroyed, blah 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 blah. But the thing that really gets me worked up about things like this is I'm in the trenches day in and day out. I know what's going on, and that's not the problem. Because let me promise you, the mortgage companies aren't coming in during the 6 months like they do, like the redemption period is now. They're not coming in and fixing up the house, putting it on the market, and getting sold right away.
No, they're not.
They're sitting empty for a long, 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 long time. So I would blame it on the mortgage companies that they're not coming in and doing it. And as far as people destroying the homes and so forth, they're going to destroy it in month one if they're that kind of person. They're not. People don't choose and say, "Oh, well, I'm going to destroy it now." No, I always tell people who can buy a house. Yeah. People who can't rent. And that's just the way things are. So
I think it's tough, the short sale. You want to short sale your property. I mean, listen, if you have a foreclosure on your property, your time to buy again and some of the other things that it affects in your credit, are obviously catastrophic. Getting the short sale done. I mean, if you short sale your property and you don't have any lates, some people can short sale it and they can get it done. I mean, Fannie Mae's guidelines and Freddie Mac's guidelines have changed, so you can put it through and try to get it done. And with that, I mean, you can jump back in most of the time and buy again in 1 year. You got to have, obviously get approved, and you have to have some of the other factors that go along with the loan. It's not a given, but getting a foreclosure and then looking at, if you're a VA vet, you can buy again in 2 years, but some of the other timelines you're looking 3 to 5, and that really puts a big crimp on people jumping back into the market. And who's buying right now? All the people that lost their houses, a few years back are now the ones that are buying and helping the economy move forward. So, I think that the whole thing was broke, but at this point in time, shortening the redemption period is just ridiculous.
Well, it's funny. I think you're letting the mortgage companies off the hook too easy.
Am I?
Because, I mean, if they're going to shorten this redemption period to 3 months, and
I'm not for it at all.
No, but here's the point. We're saying that, and in the paper, it's saying that it's going to affect the ability to have a short sale go through.
Yeah.
That's the mortgage company's fault also.
Yeah. Let me back that up. If you're going to get approved, this is my thoughts. If you're going to get approved for a loan and you got a choice to go to, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, maybe some local lenders that are out there that are brokers, this is the way I look at it. A broker, maybe because I'm partial to that, but a broker doesn't get paid unless the deal closes. A banker, a lot of them get salary, and then they get a bonus when the loan closes, and whatever that is, it depends upon where they work. And it's just that simple. So, if somebody's working to feed their kids, you got to make sure that they give you a really solid loan. They give you, a competitive interest rate that's out there. And I've always been more partial to go with brokers than bankers. Sometimes when you're dealing with the big bank, especially, unfortunately, like Bank of America, it can be really difficult to try to get those. When I see an offer come over with a pre-approval letter saying they're pre-approved with Bank of America, I would be more apt to say, hey, listen, can you also get approved with somebody else? Maybe see a broker in there, because a lot of these times they take so long to get the transaction closed that it doesn't close. And if it's a short sale and you're looking to try to get it done, and the person's pre-approved and the bank takes too many 45, 50, 60 days. I've seen it take that long for them to get a loan done on an paper file, and your house goes past the redemption period. It could be rough, and then in turn you can't short sale, so it's all for nothing. So that's my experience in real estate on that.
That was the point I was going to say. I was going to say, if you or I were the mortgage company and we had to get a short sale through, we'd get it done.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
it wouldn't be 90 days. We would get it done. And, segueing that into the whole purpose of the show, if you need a mortgage person, give us a call, and between Jimmy and I, we could give you great referrals.
Yeah, absolutely. And sooner or later, I'll get licensed here. I just, it's just a question of taking a new test. It's 25 questions, and just, within that, I still do them in Nevada, so I can answer any questions for you and send you to the right person here. So that's not a problem. But when you're looking at buying a house, I see that the housing market is going up, and within that, it kind of trends to Oakland County. It seems to hit the most growth. The top three is going to wind up in obviously Macomb and then Wayne. So those are going to be the top three counties, and there's a lot more. The permits that are being pulled, everything's moving in the right direction. But when you're selling a property, that's another story right now, because you want to make sure when you pick your real estate agent, that your real estate agent knows what they're doing. And there's a lot of little faculties out there. What do they bring to the table? So, folks, when we come back here from the break, I'm going to kind of go over some of the things that are important in a listing agent, and also what are important in a buyer's agent. And I'm sure Paul will have some legal questions with regards to that, too. So stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back with the Oracle.
Thank you for the amazing job you've done in moving my first book forward in the publishing process.
Ludi Cotton Darnell's book, Ashley, Alex, and the Mystery Twins, was published with Zulon Press.
This is an exciting time for me.
Have you got a book for a Christian audience? Want to control the publishing process? Your free publishing guide is at ChristianPublishing.com.
I thank the Lord that Zulon Press has made it possible.
Visit Zulon Press for your free publishing guide at ChristianPublishing.com.
This is Chris McCourtney of Faith Talk 1500, and I want you to meet the Power Company Kids Club in Pontiac. Did you know that in 2012, 10 Pontiac teens were charged with murder? For 20 years now, the Power Company Kids Club has been rescuing kids from that future, building their social, spiritual, and physical well-being through the saving power of the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm inviting you to attend the 20th Anniversary Gala and Auction at the Royal Park Hotel on Friday, June 7th. Go to PowerCompanyKidsClub.org for all the details. It's a great night of fun and entertainment, but more important, you can make a kingdom difference for youth and teens right here in Pontiac, Michigan. Please join us at the Royal Park for the 20th Anniversary Gala and Auction, and consider a financial gift too. Go to PowerCompanyKidsClub.org right now, and thanks.
In times of joy, in moments of grief, we are there. When the world looks for truth, broadcasters come through, even when all else fails. Today, with more ways than ever to experience the moments that transform our lives, Americans still choose broadcast radio and television more than all other media combined. And our web and social sites are among the most visited sites in our daily lives.
Bring you the video. Do not go outdoors here in Ocean City right now.
When important moments happen, both big and small, we're the first informers to history. We are the local broadcasters of radio and television, reaching more people, touching more lives. Brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Hey folks, welcome back to the Oracles of Radio with real estate agent Jimmy Moss with Red Carpet Platinum and attorney at law, Mr. Paul Gigliotti. And with that said, you can reach us at our website at oraclesofradio.com. You can email us any questions at oraclesofradio.com. Pretty simple. So with that said, hey, just look that up and get a hold of us. Our number to our office, or should I say the phone that kind of deviates to where it needs to go, is 855-USA-1976. So if you're looking for somebody to list your house that knows what they're doing, you're looking for an agent to take you out and show you properties and know what they're doing, obviously I can do that. I'm that agent. With regards to law, I mean, Paul knows what he's doing. He's been doing it forever. I mean, there's nothing more said. I don't think there's many things that kind of shock you when you wake up in the morning when you go to court thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? You've seen a lot of everything.
Yeah, that's kind of the competitive nature in me. I played football.
No, not you.
Yeah. I played football in college, and I was a quarterback, and my college coach, he was one tough guy, let me tell you, and it kind of rubbed off on me. And my philosophy about everything is figure out a way to get it done.
Get her done. Get her done.
That's right. So it's funny because sometimes when I meet clients in the morning on the day of a hearing, they're always like, you okay? And I said, hey, I'm ready to go in there and do whatever it takes, whatever we got to do. It doesn't matter what the judge says, this or that. And sometimes I actually warn clients, and I'll tell them, I'll say, hey, the judge might react such and such a way, but it doesn't really matter to me as long as we win your case.
Yeah, absolutely. And all the judges. I mean, you've been around a long time, so you got to know what to look for, who you're going to pull and what you're going to get. Looking at stuff that people, when you're out there buying a house, we talked about that in the segue, or selling a house, the selling part of it. One of the things that are important if you are looking for a listing agent, that they pick up their phone. This is how much it goes up. This is staggering. That if you are a listing agent, and I put a sign up in your property, and I'm going to have a little rider underneath it. It's going to have a number that they can text, and they can get all the pertinent information about your house in real time. So at that point, boom, they're driving by, they're looking at the sign, they're calling on it, or they're calling me through. We use RealComp for our MLS search. That information is going to come right to the seller. They're going to get that from that rider in the sign. What that property is about. This is how much it goes up. If you get a hold of somebody within the first 5 minutes of a buyer calling on your property, it goes up 395%. I mean, that's staggering. So these agents out there that are not picking up their phone or do not have the capturing system to be able to capture these buyers in there and drive them to your house and keep them interested in that property, a lot of times it just slipped through. And I mean, that's just one thing right there that I know you, Paul, you pick up your phone all the time when I call you, and if not, you call me back pretty soon. But I can go over a lot of different statistics here that are out there when you're looking at trying to sell a property. But the agent has to have some knowledge, obviously, of the internet. That's important. We use RealComp here, so when we put your property in, all the agents around there are going to get it. That property then in turn goes to Realtor.com. It's going to get set up in Redfin. It's going to set up on House Hunt. House Hunt's a great search engine to look for houses. Zillow. All those are going to then in turn grab that house, and it's going to market itself that way. But putting up if it's a house that needs a tour, put a virtual tour on it. If you're an agent, I would suggest that, and I would do that for my clients. The pictures have to be good. They just can't be. I've seen some of you look at them and they're cutting a square. I mean, you see this little slice. I don't understand it. So, I mean, a good listing agent is going to be able to do those things without questions asked, and they're going to have some experience in the internet. They're going to know what to do. They're going to be full time in it. And some of the other little doodads out there. I mean, to keep it quick and snappy. I mean, paint the house, get it painted. Wash the windows. Make sure the house has a good smell to it when they come in. Take advantage of the lighting. Make sure that you try to show the house during the day at the right time so it looks good and it's got a nice warm feeling. Play a little music in the background. These are all the things that are those little extra little bit on the margin that'll sell the house, and that's really important when you're out there looking for a good listing agent. That you sit down with them and they have a little tips and they can tell you what you need to do and how to fix your house up to get that sucker sold. But Paul, on the law side of it. When you go into court and you're arguing cases, I mean, the bankruptcy thing, I don't think there's, like I said earlier, I don't think there's so many things that we've talked about that, surprise you anymore. But tell me something that might, or tell me something indifferent.
Well, I'm going to continue on with what you're talking about. I'm not going to let you off the hook that easy.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure there's listeners out there who
like
are no. I'm sure there's listeners that are out there that are a little bit skeptical of some real estate agents. And many moons ago, I had one such person who called me and said, I want you to list my house and sell my house.
Yeah.
And it's not something an attorney usually does. And I would
but
always.
You can.
I could, yeah. But I always recommend people use a realtor. Like you talked about the technology and things that you have at your disposal.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Attorneys don't have that handy. But for that particular person, again, it's all about people feeling comfortable about what they're doing. So with that said, in this kind of a market where a lot of people are upside down on their house or they're kind of close to breaking even on it, what I see happen sometimes is an offer will come in and it's a little bit upside down. And the agent will tell the seller, you have to bring money to the table. And sometimes it's not much. Sometimes it's $500 or $1,000. So people will call us. And these people could possibly do a bankruptcy but maybe not. And they're trying to sell their house. They're trying to do the right thing, but they're coming up a little short. And they're like, well, should I bring money to the table? It would be cheaper for me to do a bankruptcy, walk away, blah, 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 blah. So here's the magic thing. We always tell them, call your agent and ask them to cut their commission.
Yeah,
and I always say, before you say that, put on your bulletproof vest and get ready, boy.
Yeah.
Because agents don't like to hear that. But, the way I look at it is, hey, you're going to get the sale as the agent. You're going to make some money. It is
agents out there are hating you right now.
You're going to get paid. You moved a house, but more importantly, you really helped this person out, and they're not asking you to cut the commission because they're a cheapskate.
Yeah,
they want to just have their sale go through. There's going to be costs anyways. There's moving costs and everything.
Sometimes you make money in a different way. You're trying to say that you make it on the spiritual side of it, and the cause and effect, the law of allowance, the law of attraction. You do the right thing, and the right thing will happen to you. I subscribe to those theories, and obviously my belief in the good Lord. So I mean, all those things, absolutely. You never know how the ball is going to play until you get in the game.
Let me give you one more.
Give me one more. Go ahead.
Let me give you one more. So this is a couple weeks ago, and house up for sale, and some offers came in, and the highest offers were for FHA, VA loans.
Yeah,
which for the folks out there, sometimes it's easier to get qualified. And correct me if I'm wrong on anything.
Yeah, no, it is. But sometimes
you have to do repairs and so forth.
Yeah, you have to have the house up to snuff, and they're a little bit harder when it comes to that. Sure.
So somebody who's trying to just sell and get the sale over with, and they don't want to re-cement their porch or something.
Cash is king, baby.
They want to stay away from that. So anyways, in this one particular deal, the higher offers came in with VA, FHA, and then a lower offer came in conventional.
Right.
Which means the seller wouldn't have to do any repairs or anything. I mean, there'd have to be an appraisal and so forth, but it's not as in-depth as getting one of those other types of mortgages. And when the conventional person went to put their offer in, the agent kind of hemmed and hawed. Well, there's already some offers in, and these offers are for more money, and I kind of chuckled to myself, and I told the client, I said, his commission's going to be less if he takes the conventional.
I'm not going to touch that.
So I said, you got to be careful with this.
No, I understand what you're saying.
But and it ended up being the homeowner's choice, and the seller was a pretty sturdy, knows what she wanted woman, and told the agent, look, this is what I want to go through. I don't want any problems. I don't want to have to do anything.
Sometimes the highest and best offer isn't always the best. I mean, the highest offer is not always the best. But hey, when you're listing your house out there are a lot of things that you need to take into consideration. And like you say, Paul, I mean, we're gonna walk you through that and make sure that you get the best offer. And when the buyers are buying it, I myself, I will talk to that loan officer on the other that's on that pre-approval letter. I will call them and I'll run them through the litmus test. I'll say, hey, what about this and what about this? Have you looked at their DTI? Did you run it through Point, which is a computer program? I mean, do you have a DU approval, which is desktop underwriting for Fannie Mae? The different types of things that a lot of real estate agents might not know what to say or to ask. And I'm going to look at that stuff. And also, when it comes down to looking at the title fees, you want to make sure, we use Parks Title, you know what you're going to get. They're a great company. So, our whole premise of doing this show, Paul, obviously, if you need a good attorney, Paul's a great attorney. And if you have a good attorney, Paul's better.
and as far as the real estate agent goes, that was the point I was getting to. You threw out the technical stuff again, but you've heard Jimmy talk about karma and spiritual and different things like that. He's going to do the thing that's best for you. That was the point I was trying to get at with those two stories. Is he's going to do what's best for you.
Front seat in heaven for you, Paul. I appreciate that. I know we're coming up near the end of the show here, but hey, get a hold of us. I mean, here, what do we?
Yeah, absolutely. Call our toll-free number, 855-USA-1976. Again, that's 855-USA-1976. Or look us up online, oraclesofradio.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. And if you want to email us questions, if you're not a phone person, questions@oraclesofradio.com. Give us a call. Even if you don't plan on using us, let us tell you what's out there and what the best thing is for you.
Yeah, or we could talk Red Wings, man. I don't care. I'm always good with the Red Wings. And, Hey, we can talk fishing. I love fishing, too. So, hey, folks, whatever you need out there, we're willing to take you fishing, and we're willing to talk about the Red Wings. Hey, thanks for listening to the Oracles of Radio this weekend with Jimmy Moss and Paul Gigliotti. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, have a good Memorial Day, everybody.
Enjoy.
Hosted by Realtor Jimmy Moss and attorney Paul Gigliotti. For more information, visit oraclesofradio.com on the web. oraclesofradio.com.
It was summertime in northern Michigan.
Comments made on this show should not be construed as professional advice. Listeners should not take any action based on the advice given over the air. Listeners should only act upon advice given during a face-to-face consultation with a professional who knows all of the client's information and has reviewed all of the client's documentation.
Control. We can see socks for miles.
I'm sorry, Lunar One. Did you say socks?
Miles and miles of socks.
Like we